Because you mentioned Hasan joined for some of the
yeah,
basketball sessions.
Hasan joined. I will say Hasan got to the park and it was like, oh, he's never played with us. We play at this park every weekend for like 6 months, and it's like we kind of like know the vibes. And like he put a shot up and it kind of hit the rim, and he goes, oof, bad rims. Looked, he's like, ooh, sun in my eyes. He's like, this place sucks.
What?
He definitely was not a fan of our court.
Hey, novice here, less than novice. Bad rims, that feels like a crazy call out. Is that a real thing?
So
Can you have bad rims?
You can have bad rims. So a normal rim is a single rim. Most parks will have double rims so they don't break, which just means they're a little thicker and there's like it's a little more rigid bounce.
Is your rim a double rim?
Shot will go in. Yeah, almost all parks are double rims. Dude, you must be living in rich person world.
I wish I'd known that you had a double rim before I'd spoken, because now I feel embarrassed, honestly, for you that you have a double rim.
I'm telling you, I don't know anyone who goes and shoots on like a public hoop that's a single rim. I've never seen a single rim at a park that I've been to.
Clearly where Hasan lives, he's got those single rims in his mansion.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. And then the sun was in his eyes. And then, I don't know. I just feel like he was not excited about it. Game 1, he had Adam, Roguesy. Sometimes you've seen him in my Twitch chat, who's a phenomenal point guard. And they played really well. And then Game 2, he didn't draft Adam, didn't have a point guard. And he was like, next week, I got to bring my own point guard to this. And it was like...
He's taking it seriously. That's crazy.
He was taking it very seriously. Yeah,
That's good, though. I like... You need to balance having fun with the competitiveness.
I don't think he had fun. I will say that.
Yeah,
I don't think he's coming back. We invited him back. I don't think he's going to.
Oh, that's sad.
There's something oddly revealing about how people carry themselves on a basketball court. The court is not just a slab of asphalt, painted lines, and rattling rims. It is a theater where body language speaks louder than any words, where ego collides with gravity, and where camaraderie is tested in the most ordinary of motions: a pass, a rebound, a shot that clangs or swishes. For some, it is simply a weekend ritual, a rhythm of pickup games with familiar faces. For others, stepping into that space for the first time feels like trespassing into a closed circle, a congregation that has already built its language, its tempo, its inside jokes. That is the stage where Stanz finds himself narrating an encounter that becomes more than just basketball. He speaks of an afternoon when HasanAbi, streamer, commentator, political firebrand, decided to join the run. And from the very start, the mismatch of vibes was impossible to ignore. The game had been alive for months before Hasan ever set foot on that asphalt. Week after week, the same group met at the same park, building chemistry not only through gameplay, but through ritual repetition. The regulars knew the dead spots on the court, the weight of the ball on a windy day, the rhythm of each other's cuts and hesitations. They had adjusted to the quirks of the environment, the sun at certain hours, the echo of a dribble near the fence, the unique hardness of the rims. These were their conditions, their battlefield, and in embracing its imperfections, they made it their own. When Hasan stepped in, he arrived as both guest and outsider. His very presence carried a different kind of energy. He is not just another guy looking for cardio. He is a figure with an audience, a brand. Wherever he goes, there's an invisible crowd trailing behind, an online chorus imagining how he performs in this unfamiliar arena. And so when his first shot failed to find the net, when the ball met against unforgiving metal, his response was not simply frustration, but judgment of the court itself. He did not yet understand the language of this space. The detail of bad rims may sound small, even comic, but within it lies a microcosm of misunderstanding. For seasoned players who haunt public parks, double rims are standard. They are harsher, less forgiving, but durable. They humble shooters and reward precision. Complaining about them is like a sailor complaining that the sea is too salty. Obvious, yes, but irrelevant because this is the environment everyone has already adapted to. In calling out the rim, Hasan inadvertently positioned himself as someone uninitiated, someone who did not yet grasp the accepted reality of park culture. To regulars, it was not the rim's fault. It was simply the rim. This is where the tension begins, not explosive tension, but the quieter, awkward tension of misaligned expectations. Stanz and his crew had spent months crafting an ecosystem of play. For them, the quirks of the court were not obstacles, but part of the bond. To Hasan, new to the space, those quirks became excuses, irritations, reminders that he was not in control. This dissonance echoed throughout the run. Basketball, especially pickup basketball, is a delicate dance between fun and competitiveness. It thrives on unspoken agreements: play hard but don't injure, shoot your shot but also share the ball, respect mismatches but don't humiliate. Within that balance, roles emerge. Some people are scorers, some are facilitators, some bring energy on defense, some simply know how to keep vibes high even when losing. The best runs are those where everyone feels both challenged and included, where the competition fuels laughter instead of resentment. Hasan by nature is competitive. His streaming persona, his debates, his commentary, all of it thrives on high stakes and firm positions. To bring that intensity into a casual weekend run can either elevate the game or suffocate it, depending on the chemistry. When he landed on a team with a skilled point guard, someone who could direct traffic and set him up, the energy clicked. But when that balance disappeared, when he lacked that guiding presence, his frustration became visible. Suddenly, the run was no longer lighthearted. It became a grind, a test, a chore. The beauty of pickup is that roles are fluid. One week you might be the scorer, the next the rebounder. But to demand a point guard as if it were a roster decision in a professional league shifts the context. It makes the playground feel like a draft room, the game like a business deal. Stanz notes this shift with a mix of amusement and disappointment. On one hand, it is funny to see someone take the game so seriously. On the other, it signals a lack of joy. For a group that has built its weekends around shared laughter, inside jokes, and playful competition, seriousness can feel like an intrusion. This is the heart of Stan's reflection, the sense that Hasan did not have fun. And if he did not have fun, then he is unlikely to return. That absence is not catastrophic. Pickup games will continue, the crew will keep running, but it leaves a residue of sadness. There is something inherently disappointing when someone you admire, someone you invite into your circle, does not find joy in the thing that brings you joy. It is not about the missed shots or the complaints about the sun. It is about the failure of vibes to align. We can look deeper here beyond basketball. This story illustrates the broader challenge of crossing communities. Online, Hasan commands attention, dominates discourse, and carries the confidence of a man who knows his arena. But offline, stepping into a pre-existing circle of friends on a random court, his power does not translate. He cannot control the sun, the rim, or the chemistry of teammates. He is just another player, vulnerable to the same awkwardness as anyone else. In that vulnerability, his discomfort surfaces, and the group, instead of absorbing him seamlessly, feels the fracture. The lesson is not that Hasan is a poor player or that Stan's crew is unwelcoming. The lesson is that environments matter. Chemistry matters. You can be a giant in one world and a novice in another. And how you handle that novice status reveals more about your character than any stat line. Complaining about rims, about sun, about missing pieces, these are defense mechanisms, ways of protecting ego when reality does not match expectation. Yet there is also generosity in Stan's tone. He is not attacking, not mocking. He is observing with the bemused disappointment of someone who wanted things to work out better. He and his crew extended the invitation, opened their circle, and hoped for an infusion of new energy. Instead, they received a glimpse of frustration and seriousness that clashed with their rhythm. They still invited him back, but they know, deep down, he probably will not return. And so we are left with a strangely poignant image, a group of friends continuing their ritual under the same sun, on the same unforgiving double rims, laughing through their sweat, while the guest they once welcomed drifts back into his own world, unlikely to share that space again.